plan for your child's future from the moment you find out you're pregnant. You do everything you can to help them achieve the goals you set for them. Isn't it ironic how life has a way of changing our plans? The plans I made changed when I found out I was going to be a grandmother. And in that one conversation, my emotions went from shock to sadness to excitement. I was shocked when the phone rang at 3 a.m., and like most of us, I assumed the worst. It was my 19-year-old daughter, and she was crying so hard I could barely understand her. I managed to hear her say, "Mom, get on the webcam." About a million thoughts went through my head as I was waiting for the computer to load, and then I saw her crying hysterically. And I said, "Amanda, what is it? What's wrong? Is something wrong with Grandma or Papa?" I was thrown when she shook her head no. She said, "Mom, it's me. Something's wrong with me." Then I asked the question most mothers of teenage daughters dread asking, "Are you pregnant?" To this, she nodded her head yes. And then my shock turned to sadness. It was difficult to contain my emotions, but I knew I needed to be strong for her. She was obviously distraught and depending on me for comfort and advice. But as I sat there watching her, sobbing, I couldn't help myself. So there we both were, thousands of miles away from each other, crying over the internet. I wanted so badly to hold her and tell her everything was going to be all right. I felt so helpless. Then I asked her, "Amanda, does Josh, her fiance, know?" Again, she shook her head no and said, "You're the only one I've told and the only one I want to talk to about this right now." So for about 10 minutes, we sat there talking about how she was going to have to change, how her life was going to change, and how she was going to have to become more responsible. College is very important to both of us. I asked her to please stay in college. "I'll do anything I can. I'll help you financially. Just please stay in college." By this time, I'd started calming down, and it was on to the next emotion. We began making plans for our new baby. I realized that all the attempts that I'd had to have more children that had failed only led to now I was going to get to have a baby, to see little feet running around. My excitement grew as I realized that I get to spoil a child that I don't have to raise. We continued talking. We began discussing things like baby names, if it was going to be a boy or girl, and how excited my mom was going to be when she found out. I was glad we were able to end the conversation optimistically. In conclusion, although raising a child's not easy, we do everything we can, and I think I've prepared her for the future. This is no longer my plan, it's her plan now. I still find it amazing how not only our emotions, but our whole future can change in just one conversation.
The end.